Talk. I think we're on to episode 29 here, having a pretty good run. This is my first lunchtime chat I'm doing here in Nairobi, and incredibly excited to introduce to you all a serial entrepreneur who's working on a really interesting company called Mchanga. It's Kyai Mullei. Kyai, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you very much, Jason.
Just a quick plug for Mchanga. We actually have our own Mchanga page to support J-Talk. We'll get into a little more about what Mchanga is about. But it's a voluntary donation platform. So if you want to help support the sustainability of the J-Talk show, we've had a lot of interest in the show to this point. Check out Mchanga page. We're using the platform right now as we speak. So yeah, go ahead, check it out if you want to contribute something. It's going to help us keep the show going. So let's get on with the interview. Kyai, pleasure to have you on.
Pleasure to be here.
So a little bit about you. Tell us a little bit about where you grew up and what was that like, and then we'll get on to a little bit of the inspiration for entrepreneurship.
Great, yeah. So it's a bit of a mixed bag. I've lived in a few different countries in my life. I was born in the US.
Okay.
I moved back to Kenya when I was really young.
Yeah.
Went to St. Mary's School for a few years, and then my family moved out to West Africa, to Dakar, Senegal. Mm-hmm. So I did a lot of my growing up in French, in Dakar, Senegal. And then moved back here to Kenya and went to St. Andrew's School in Turi for a couple of years, and then the International School of Moshi in Tanzania. So a little bit, all over the place.
Yeah, I'm sure that those international experiences probably informed some of your entrepreneurial ideas.
It is. But Kenya's always home, and so glad to be here, doing and setting up a company here.
Fantastic. Yeah. So you did your studies, you got 2 degrees, you studied in Ohio, as I understand
it? I went to Oberlin College in Ohio, right outside of Cleveland. Okay. I did an econ undergrad, and then I did my master's in Atlanta at Robinson College of Business in Georgia State University.
Okay. Yeah. And so the idea for your first, Mchanga now is your second company.
Right.
The idea for your first company, did that come out of when you were doing your business degree?
Correct, yeah. So I did, my MBA had a focus in computer information systems and design. So when I moved back to Kenya, after that I started a company that was really focused on that, and helping small, medium-sized companies set up their ERPs and that kind of thing. So I did that for a few years, and that was fine. And then I met my co-founder, David Mark, who's not here. Mm-hmm. He had a tech background as well, and we wanted to launch a product that could, reach the mass market. We felt that M-Pesa was a great idea. Around about that time, there was a few apps coming out related to, loans and things like that. But we felt if we found an activity that Kenyans did enough and and was pervasive, then that's the kind of thing that we wanted to do. And so the Harambee story came up.
So that first company for you just didn't feel it was scaling in the way you wanted. Yeah, you wanted something bigger.
That's right. It wasn't scaling, and we could have, I could have kept going. It was, a decent living, but this had a chance for much more impact.
Okay. Yeah. And this drive to be an entrepreneur and to build something with scale, where did that come from?
I like to say that I fell into entrepreneurship. It's kind of, I worked for Pearson Education, right after college. This is before I did my MBA, and I think, there's a couple ladies that I came into the company with, and I found that in a couple of years they'd really risen up the ranks, and I didn't, and I realized it was really because I probably wasn't cut out for that type of job. So that kind of had me thinking about the entrepreneurship angle. So I like to say that I fell into it.
That's it. And any challenges or pressures as you started going down this path? I mean, often entrepreneurs, who've had a lot of education, whatever, there'll be parental pressures that you should take a more well-trodden path.
Right. Luckily from a family perspective, no pressure. We both of my brother and sister are career people, but no pressure from my parents to do anything that didn't quite suit me. More pressure from myself, right? And is this a good idea? Is this sustainable? What happens in a few years? I mean, it's scary. It's exciting, but it's scary at the same time. But luckily, good support networks around. And all encouragement all the time.
Yeah. So, what are your strategies for dealing with those doubts they're part and parcel of being an entrepreneur?
Keep going. Just keep going. It's a tough journey, and it's not going to happen overnight. So even with Mchanga, we got going in 2013, but we really got going in 2015. That's when the company really began to scale. And so those couple of years, trying to grow out the idea, just sticking with it at that point and just not getting discouraged. Eventually it works out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I mean, the journey is always, every day is about improvement. Yeah. Are you happy with where Mchanga is right now, and what are the plans for the future expansion of the platform?
We are happy with where Mchanga is right now. Right now we feel, we a few years in, we have a couple 100,000 users, and our numbers are good. Right now we want to scale, right? Yeah. And so now we're looking for investment to scale, to do just that. We feel like we've discovered the price points, we've discovered the product, we just need to blow it up. Yeah. And so that's where we're at as a company. We're fundraising, and hopefully we'll be done with that by the end of the year.
Oh, fantastic. And you're right now just in Kenya?
Right now we're just in Kenya, but hopefully we'll scale to Uganda and Tanzania in the next couple of years.
And the fundraising process, are you looking both locally in Kenya and also looking for traditional VC money out of Silicon Valley or other parts of the US?
That's right, yeah. So it's a mixed bag. We have potential partners here that could be part of this investment round, as well as some Silicon Valley money. So hopefully it works out. Yeah.
And as a leader and manager of people, there's a lot of challenges that come up with that. Are there any stories you can share of particularly difficult leadership challenges you've had leading a company like Mchanga, or things you've learned that you can pass on to other managers and leaders out there who want to follow similar paths, but maybe it's stymied in some way?
And I would speak from the perspective of a company that has co-founders, because this is what Mchanga is. And I think the most difficult thing to do is ensure that you maintain alignment as the years go by. Motivations can be aligned at the beginning of a company, but really the direction of the company may kind of reveal different motivations. So for us, we really had a challenging 2015 because we disagreed a little bit about the direction of the company. And I would say my recommendation to most managers is, if you could deal with that in a way that doesn't impact the team, right? That would probably be the best thing to do. So, unfortunately, some of our differences in direction kind of bled over into team and affected some of the hires that we had at that time. So I would think, if we were to ever do it differently, or if we were in the same situation again, would be to kind of silo these things, right? And if it's a management issue, then kind of keep it management issue if you can. So that would be one recommendation, especially if you have a co-founder.
Oh, that's really good advice. Anyone watching, I would take that to heart. That's great advice. Yeah. So entrepreneurship, starting your own company, it's a full 24/7 thing. What do you do to help you kind of step away, regroup, de-stress? Do you have any strategies around that, or is it just work?
I have no strategies around that. It's just work. But I definitely recognize that's problematic.
Yeah.
I have a family, I have 2 young kids, so it does help going home and kind of just unwinding, getting on the floor and unwinding with your kids. They don't care about what happened in the day. They don't
care about your next fundraising.
Right. Yeah. And so family is a good way to unwind. I also play sport. I play basketball. I do that three days a week.
Okay.
Get to hang with the boys, and so those things, sport and family, have helped.
And on a bigger picture question, I'm at Stanford Business School now, and there's a lot of talk about the exciting things going on in the Silicon Savannah here in Kenya.
That's right.
And leading the way there.
Yeah.
What's your perspective? And are you pretty optimistic about the way the tech scene is growing here and the growth in it?
Absolutely. We're fortunate. When we founded the company in late 2012, 2013, we like to say that's when the tech sector really got going in Kenya. By that point, internet prices had come down. People could actually have connections. Developers could actually do their work and be online. So we've been fortunate to see the evolution of the tech sector, and it's really matured. There's been a shakeout period. At first, there's a lot of ideas. There was a lot of seed money in the tech sector for that, and so we've seen some of the better ideas kind of last, right? The M-Copas and people like that, and so we think that we're in like a kind of a period of increasing maturity for the industry.
Yeah.
Good ideas are able to raise a lot of money in the local market, and that's where we wanted it to go. So what I think is now the missing link in that chain is, so we have the VC funding, but then the PE funding in the tech sector. And unfortunately, we just haven't had companies big enough to attract that type of money. But we think that that's where we're headed. We get that, we have the whole value chain when it comes to investment and fundraising fundraising. We're fundraising locally. I mean, there's people here locally that are putting together the round. So the expertise around investment for companies as they scale is definitely something that exists now. So we're really happy about the direction of the tech sector in Kenya. And it's a major driver of the economy. I think the tech sector is estimated about 10 to 15% of GDP.
Wow.
And so it's really a driver now. It's a bigger component than tourism or agriculture. So it's very exciting.
Fantastic. Great. Well, on that note, I think that's very positive. It's great to hear that that's happening, and long may it continue. And appreciate you coming on the show, sharing with us your stories, and you're a real inspiration to any young entrepreneur out there. And all the best with it.
Thank you very much, Jason. It was very nice to be on the show.
And thank you for letting me put J-Talk on the show.
Karibu.
Great. Thanks a lot for joining us today, and we'll catch you next time.